Hey everybody, we're the Ohio guys. Welcome to another edition of Voice of the Voices. I'm Ansel Young. She's Caitlin Glass. How are you doing today, Caitlin?
I am doing great, thank you.
So we had a few questions here for you today. First one is, what is it like working in the industry today?
It's different working in the industry today than it was when I got started, which was about 10 years ago. Um, and it's really hard to explain. It seems that the fandom has grown and the kind of workforce for actors has grown too, so I suppose that it's a lot more competitive for us as actors, which means it's not always the best of environments. That isn't to say that it's horrible. I mean, my job is great. I love it. But I've just been thinking a lot lately because I've hit this 10-year milestone of doing this job. Like, how much has it changed, and when was it the best, and that kind of thing. But it's still good. We're at a con, so things must be good in the industry if conventions are still going on. Is she with you?
No.
Oh. Hi.
Just curious to know what's going on.
Oh, we're just doing a little interview.
Okay, I would do that.
Con life. Yeah. Yeah, someone said to me, they're like, well, the industry must be doing okay if all these other cons can be going on at the same time as Anime Expo. It's like the same weekend.
Right.
Is this one and Expo and like Florida SuperCon and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I guess that means the state of the industry is healthy. So, yeah.
I had a couple show questions here for you.
Sure.
What was it like working on Full Metal Alchemist, considering it has such a huge fan following?
I think it was really cool. It must be the way some of the people like the dubcast of Sailor Moon, the new dubcast was announced today. So I bet it felt similar to, I guess, what they're feeling. Of course, they have like a 20-year fan base, plus lots of new kids just discovering the show for the first time. But for Full Metal, the expectations were high, but I also didn't have any precedent. I didn't have anything to compare it to because it was my first big show. So it was very exciting, and I was loving doing the work as much as I was loving watching the show. And there were fans that were following it in Japan first, so they knew it was going to happen. But they were still so excited with every episode that came out on TV because they got to hear the voice of these characters that they already knew, but they got to hear it in English. And I remember when, like before Twitter, and we would all get into, I think, like a Yahoo group chat or something like that, and I would watch along with fans, and there were so many inside jokes and so much silliness, and I made a lot of friends, like con friends, because of Full Metal. So it's a very, very special, exciting time.
Another show you worked on, Gunslinger Girl, which is pretty dark. What was it like working on that?
It was sad. It was really sad working on that show, but cool at the same time. It was a little hard for me. I was still new at that point. Like, I'd done Winry, and I think I'd maybe done like Takane and Burst Angel, and I'd done Hiono and Spiral. I had 5 roles, and then here I am. I'm Triella, and the directorship changed frequently. So I'd go in, and this day I'm with Sabat, and this day I'm with Laura Bailey, and this day it's Eric Vale, and then it's Chris Bevins, and that's normal on a show like One Piece or Dragon Ball or something that's long. You have multiple directors, but to think that Gunslinger Girl is so short and we had that many directors, I remember feeling very confused and just like, well, I just have to trust the directors and believe that it's going to have good continuity throughout, and it did. And thankfully, I guess because of my experience with it, when season 2 came along, then I got to direct it, so that was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Orrin High School Host Club,
Yeah.
which Greg is also here this weekend, who's also in the show. What was it like working on that?
Working on Ouran was a dream come true for me because I loved the show in Japanese first. And when I first saw it, all that I wanted to do was to direct it. It wasn't about playing the lead or any of that. I was just like, I love this show so much, and I know it has a huge fan following, and it's so odd. I really want to make sure that justice is done for the show. And so I don't want to say that I fought to get it, because really I'm powerless. I'm just a director, and it's not up to me what shows a company acquires. I just had to kind of sit there and fingers crossed that they would acquire it. And I remember being at Otakon in 2007, and that was their big industry announcement that year that they had acquired it. And I was like, yeah, I was so excited. But then I was going, well, who's going to direct it? Because even that doesn't mean that they're going to give it to me. Why should they? Maybe they'll give it to someone who's been there a lot longer. So then there was the waiting game, like, oh, do I get it? Do I get it? Do I get it? Otakon's a summer convention. We didn't start even working on that show until February of the next year. Somewhere around maybe Christmas time or something like that, I was told, yes, you are going to get to do it, but we don't have a start date yet. And Funimation was moving locations from one office building that we shared with a bank to another facility that was all our own. And I had gone to China to work on a video game, and I was there for about 2 weeks. And while I was gone is when they wanted to start auditions. And they almost made me split directorship with someone else so that they could get the ball rolling. But Mike McFarland, the producer, said, oh, no, she will work 12-hour days to catch up on what she's missed. You can't start this without her. And I, thank you, Mike, thank you so much. He believed in me. So it's just so exciting. That is the most exciting, wonderful, and nostalgic time for me, is thinking about working on that show. That 6-month period of time where I lived and breathed and ate and slept Oron, like all the time. And I loved every bit of it. Like, I loved all the challenges. I loved the fun days. They were all fun days. Like, even when it was challenging, it was fun, because I loved that show so much. And it was so important to me that the fans love it as well. And that summer, we were the big AX announcement. Summer of 2008, and like the whole host club was announced, and we all wore these jackets, and they turned the booth into a host club with cosplayers and things that now are really commonplace at industry booths, to have cosplayers based on particular shows, but they weren't doing that much at the time, so it was kind of like everything just felt new and exciting and awesome, and everyone was thrilled with the cast. And then later it came out, and everyone was so happy, and everyone's still so happy. I meet people all the time, really young fans, that are like, this is my first anime. So I know that, like, when we made it, when it came out, they were like 5 or 7 years old. So they've seen it since. You know, it's their first anime that they just watched a few months ago, and they're obsessed with it and love it. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad. I'm so, so, so glad.
It's an awesome show.
Thank
I
you.
think it appeals to all audiences.
I wish that I could take credit for how awesome the show is, but the show's already awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just so fortunate to get to take this awesome Japanese thing and turn it into an awesome English thing too. So.
Another show, Strike Witches. What was it like working on that?
Oh, that was weird. Strike Witches was weird because the concept was a little bit odd.
Yeah.
But, you know, once you accept it, you're like, okay, girls, no pants, propeller legs, flying around. Okay. I liked the very slight historical aspects of it, how they're kind of based on countries, but real life people, like Chuck Yeager, and even my character Isla is based on a real Finnish pilot, Utalainen. But none of their circumstances really coincided at all. But I'm like, well, that's cool that they went, you know, to all that trouble.
Right.
I remember it being just kind of, it was just fun. It was cool. My friend Scott directed both of the seasons, and we had a good time.
So what was it like working on Attack on Titan now that it's actually on Toonami? Like, it's a huge, huge show. It's a huge following.
It's huge. I remember I didn't watch it in Japanese, so all I knew about were like the characters that I'd seen in all of the major images. So that's like Mikasa and Annie. And I read for them, but I really didn't think that I did a good job. And I guess that's why I wasn't cast as those two. But because I didn't read well for those two, I really thought that I won't be in the show, because I hadn't seen it. I didn't understand. There are tons of characters all over the place. You could be any one of them. It's just these are the ones that talk the most. So when I did end up being cast, I was so glad. I'm like, oh, good, I do get to be a part of it, because I want to know what this is all about and why everyone is so into it. And what really struck me, it's such high melodrama. It's so intense, like every second of it. And everything that we did, I'd have to be told to do it bigger and louder, but you can't lose the sincerity behind it and the urgency behind all of it. It's just their circumstances are so grave all the time. It's really overwhelming. even just the few scenes that I was in. But I really love Petra, and I think that Mike McFarlane did a great job with the casting. Everyone is kind of like their characters in a strange way. I think that helps make us relate to them vocally because everything is so extreme.
Oh,
You know, if we were playing a character that was also quite different from us, then it could be extra hard, you know, to play a different character in this very different world. But if you're like Petra, Caitlin, she's a lot like you, and like she's strong, but she's lovely and friendly and all of that. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I can do that, and it's, you know, my voice, and there you go.
And another show that just recently came out, Red Data Girl. What
Okay.
was it like working on that show?
I remember that it didn't take very long. I just went in and did my everything for the whole show just in one session, maybe 3 or 4 hours. And I was very, I don't know what the word would be, honored, touched, happy to be chosen because I didn't even audition for that show. And that happens sometimes, you know, when you've been working in this for a long time, like 10 years, as I mentioned, people get to know your voice. So sometimes you just don't have to audition. I don't mean it in a boastful way. It's just how it works sometimes. And so I just got called in. I'm like, what am I doing? It's for Joel McDonald. He directed it and directed it. So I figured that it was, I don't know, whatever show he had just done before that. I thought I was being called into, like, I don't know, something I'd already done. Like, oh, this is a new show? What is this show? Who am I? What? It's like, well, you're going to play this goddess, and then she's going to inhabit this body, and I just thought of you, and I know that you'd be perfect for it. Like, well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I really liked the concept and just how she looked, and I liked the idea of bringing this kind of old, wise, spiritual kind of vibe to this modern-looking girl. Like, the idea of that was really cool to me, and I like doing it. It's beautiful looking. I still haven't seen the finished product, but it was cool to be a part of.
And now, if you could be any of the characters that you've played in the many shows you've been in real life, who would it be? And feel free to mix and match multiple characters and their characteristics to make some kind of weird, superhuman anime.
I think I honestly would, without mixing, I would love to live a day in the life of Haruhi Fujioka. Absolutely. I think that not many things get to her. She's not really fazed by anything much at all. And the host club guys are hysterical. They're just like, you would never be bored if you were her. I also admire just all of her qualities, her intelligence, and I think it would be really fun. She has a pretty cool life.
Now, is there anything that you've recently worked on that you are able to talk about, or that's recently come out that you'd like to plug?
I'm trying to honestly think because they keep making announcements so often that I'm not quite sure. Of course, Titan is on TV, so watch Attack on Titan. Yay. I'm working on that. We can talk about that. I'm working on, what is that? We can talk about that. No, there isn't anything I can talk about, but I will mention that there's some really cool things that I've done recently that should be announced soon within the, I don't know, the coming months. Hopefully it's just months.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Thank you.
And lastly, is there any way fans can follow you on Facebook or Twitter or any other social media networks?
Yes, there is. You can find me on Facebook at Caitlin Glass Voice Actor, not Caitlin Glass. Caitlin Glass is me, but that's like my personal page for friends and family and coworkers. So I feel bad because fans are always, want to follow, and I just I have to say no. Sorry, fans. So Caitlin Glass Voice Actor. That's my Facebook page. Come to it, and I post stuff there all the time, like cons I'm going to and my schedules and, videos and character announcements and all of that. Twitter, I'm at Caitlin's Voice, Caitlins Voice, Caitlin's Voice. And what was the other one? Instagram, I'm Glass Caitlin. Easy to remember because I've been on Instagram since like the beginning of Instagram. And that's all. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Caitlin. It was
Absolutely.
a pleasure. You were awesome.
I know you guys. Thanks for waiting around for me.
No problem. I'm Ansel. She's Caitlin. Coming to you from Anime Midwest. See you next time.